You've been praying for something for months, maybe even years, and nothing has happened yet, and every day that passes feels like another day of being forgotten or ignored. Hey, my name is Daniel, and in this video, I'm going to show you why that delay you're experiencing might be the greatest protection God has ever given you. You watch other people get their breakthroughs while you're still stuck in the waiting room wondering if your turn will ever come and if God even hears you anymore. But what if I told you that the very delay you're resenting right now is the thing that's saving your life? What if the closed doors and the not yet responses aren't rejections but redirections? And what if the timing you're fighting against is actually the timing that's fighting for you? Stay with me, because what you're about to discover will completely change how you see every unanswered prayer and every delayed dream you've been carrying. Let's be honest about something right now, because pretending doesn't help anyone. Waiting is one of the hardest things we do as human beings. And when you're waiting on God, it can feel even more painful, because He has the power to change everything instantly. You've seen the miracles in other people's lives, and you've read the stories of instant breakthroughs and healings. So why not you, and why not now? These questions keep you up at night, and they follow you through your days, and every time you see someone else getting what you've been praying for, it feels like salt in an open wound. You start wondering if you did something wrong, or if you're not faithful enough, or if God is punishing you for past mistakes. The waiting room of life is where most people lose their faith, and I get it, because I've been there too. You feel forgotten and invisible, and you start questioning everything you thought you knew about God's goodness. Maybe He doesn't care about this part of my life, you think, or maybe His promises aren't really for everyone, including me. But here's what we miss when we're in the middle of the wait, and this is crucial. We're judging God's timing from our limited perspective, where we can only see right now and maybe a few steps ahead. We're looking at our circumstances through the lens of our immediate pain and our urgent desires, and from that viewpoint, any delay feels like denial. There's a whole reality happening behind the scenes that you're completely unaware of, and this is where faith has to kick in stronger than your feelings. While you're frustrated about the timing, God is orchestrating circumstances you know nothing about yet. He's moving pieces on a chessboard you can't even see, and He's protecting you from outcomes that would have destroyed you. Think about all the times in your past when you wanted something desperately and didn't get it, and then later you looked back and realized getting that thing would have been a disaster. Maybe it was that relationship that fell apart before it began, or that job you didn't get, or that opportunity that seemed perfect but never worked out. Now with hindsight, you can see exactly why the no or the not yet was actually a gift. But in the moment you couldn't see it, and you were angry or heartbroken or confused, just like you might be right now with whatever you're waiting for. The pattern repeats throughout our lives, because we never learn to trust the delay while we're in it, and we only recognize the protection after we've moved past it. Here's something that might blow your mind when you really think about it. Every delay is doing one of two things, and sometimes both at the same time. Either God is preparing you for what you're asking for, or He's protecting you from what you think you want. Sometimes you're not ready for the blessing, and receiving it too soon would ruin you, and sometimes the blessing itself isn't actually a blessing at all. We rarely consider that second option because we're so convinced we know what's best for us. We've decided this is what will make us happy or successful or complete, and we can't imagine a scenario where getting it would actually harm us. But God sees the full story, and He knows exactly what that person or that job or that outcome would cost you down the line. Let me paint you a picture of what premature blessing looks like, because we need to understand why timing matters so much. Imagine you've been praying for a relationship, and you're lonely, and you're tired of waiting, and you just want someone to share your life with. So you push and you force and you settle because you're done waiting on God's timing. You get into that relationship, and at first it feels like relief, but slowly you realize this person doesn't share your values or your vision, and they're actually pulling you away from your purpose. Now you're stuck choosing between the companionship you wanted so badly and the destiny you're supposed to walk into, and either choice leaves you broken. Or think about the business opportunity you've been praying for, and you finally get it, but you're not financially prepared or emotionally mature enough to handle the pressure that comes with it. Within months, everything crumbles, and now you're dealing with debt and failure and the shame of having your dream turn into a nightmare. What felt like a delayed blessing would have been a total blessing if you had just waited for God's timing. This happens more than we want to admit, and it happens because we mistake our readiness for God's green light. We think wanting something badly enough means we're ready for it, but desire and readiness are completely different things. You can want something with your whole heart and still not be prepared for what having it will require from you. God's delays aren't about making you suffer, but about making you ready and protecting you from suffering you can't even imagine yet. He sees the version of that blessing that would break you, and He loves you too much to give you something that looks good but will ultimately harm you. The delay is His mercy, even when it feels like His silence. There will come a day when you look back on this waiting season, and everything will suddenly make perfect sense. You'll see exactly why that door closed, and why that relationship ended, and why that opportunity fell through. You'll recognize all the ways God was protecting you from pain you couldn't see coming, and preparing you for blessings you couldn't have handled before. In that moment of clarity, you'll feel gratitude for the delays you once resented, and you'll understand that God's timing wasn't late at all, but perfectly calibrated to give you exactly what you needed when you were finally ready for it. The frustration you feel right now will transform into awe when you see how masterfully God was orchestrating everything behind the scenes. But you don't have to wait until then to start trusting Him, and this is the invitation He's extending to you right now in the middle of your wait. Choose to believe that His delays are protection even when you can't see it yet, and decide that you'll trust His timing over your own impatience. That decision made daily and sometimes hourly is what carries you through the waiting room with your faith intact. So what if God's delays are actually protection and not punishment? What if every not yet is saving you from a yes that would have destroyed you? And what if His silence is actually Him shielding you from outcomes you can't see, but He can? The truth is, God's delays are always purposeful and always protective and always working for your good even when they feel like torture. The breakthrough you're waiting for is coming, but it's coming at the exact right time when you're ready and when everything else is aligned. Your job isn't to figure out the timing or force doors open, but to trust that the God who loves you more than you love yourself knows exactly what He's doing with your life. Every delay is a divine setup for something better than you imagined. Stop resenting the wait and start looking for what God is doing in it, because I promise you He's working, even when you can't see it. The protection you're receiving right now through these delays is saving your future, and one day you'll thank Him for every door He closed and every prayer He answered with wait. Trust His timing because it's always perfect, even when your patience is running out.